In an ancient time, when a terrible evil threatens the land, only one man can save the world.
Say what? Get out of here.
What? What's the meaning of this?
Oh, we'll just take off that broken record.
I say.
Here, hold my earrings while I take this monster down. I've got your back, darling. We just might burn down this town. Oh no, oh yeah. When you're up against a challenge and you need a helping hand, we've got an arsenal of fireballs, steel stilettos, and a cat. Oh yeah.
Hi, and welcome to Here Hold My Earrings. I'm your DM today. My name is Al, and with me are Henrietta, Laura, Susan, and Daria. Henrietta?
Hi, I'm Henriette. I'm from Norway and I play a color star druid named Dalin.
Laura?
Hi, I'm Laura. I'm from Germany, and I'm playing Byleth, a Dragonborn wizard.
Susan?
Hi, I'm Susan. I'm from America and I play Moxie, a half elven bard.
And Daria.
Hi, I'm Daria. I'm from Poland and I play a tiefling sorcerer named Zenis.
Excellent. And I believe Laura has volunteered to give us the recap.
Sure. So we are more or less finished in Neverlight Grove. We fought Zugmoy a bit, and then we are heading further into the Underdark. Dylan uses a sending stone to message her boss, Silith Hall. And she sends an update on what happened, where we are, and our situation with Zugmoy and the mold. And the sending stone, or her boss answers that she did a good job and that the queen will be notified at the next teleportation circle, and we need to use certain coordinates to make an in-person report. And we also need to give coordinates if reinforcements are needed. And then we're all like, who are you talking with, Dylan? And so we get to know a bit about Dylan's backstory, how she was a former wood elf soldier. She went to investigate the mold, but got sidetracked. Her whole group died, and she ended up in the Temple of Lolth, where she met the party and where she is now. And then we all console Dylan because it's quite tragic. And Kat also consoles Dylan with tea, of course. And she then learns that Kat uses one horn as a storage, and they continue to talk about taking off the horns of Zenith or Byleth to see if they also have storage inside. And then, as we are walking out of Neverlight Grove, it is getting less colorful, less shroomful, and it's getting cooler. And it seems as if we're getting closer to civilization. And then we are like about a day away from the ravine of the brooch, and we are near some sort of water. It is very dark and very humid, and then in the distance we hear a faint elvish melody, and it is very sad and quiet sounding. And we see a small elven girl kneeling in front of two mounts, and Dylan approaches her. She says she's looking after her parents. The two mounts with stones are graves, and the family were wood elf pilgrims. They encountered some not very nice people here, and they put them in chains and wanted to sell the family. But they were able to get away. But the evil guys followed the family, and the mother and father died, and the child survived and escaped. And we want to take her with us because she seems really helpless, but she wants to revenge her parents, and the symbol on the grave is the god of nature, Mayuki. And then we decide to wing it and be like, okay, we're gonna help you, little girl. Her name is Elnora, and she is a bit crazy because she also hears her parents' voices, and she's very, very vengeful. She really wants them all dead. And then we come to like this paved road, and there's a bridge ahead. It doesn't look very stable, so Dylan is going to turn into a snake to tie the rope on the other end. And we're all cheering for Snellen, but we forgot to be quiet, and that's a big problem because then the enemies appear out of the right corner and they attack, and Elnora recognizes them. She says that they were the ones that abducted them, and then we go into initiative, and Byleth kills the gray bearded dwarf, and Elnora just laughs manically, and we're all a bit scared of her because she's so happy that we killed them, and we're also playing soccer with their heads, and um, it is a very hard fight for Cracker, because she got like flanked quite often, and one also looked very sturdy, one enemy, who was also an orc, I think, and a lot of enemies get decapitated, and then finally Zenise kills the orc, and we're all very happy, especially Elnora. And then she goes up to the dead ones, and then she goes to the water to wash her hands, but she falls off the bridge. But we don't hear a splash, and we think maybe she was a spirit. Then, of course, we had to loot the bodies. And there was also a lady named Drinkle Sweetwater who was imprisoned by the enemies. We freed her, of course, and then we found a pier with a small boat, and at the foot we find a small skeleton. That's it.
Yay!
Yay!
Well done. Excellent. Did anybody want to add anything? All right. So yes, so you found a small boat, and you also have the bodies of the slavers in multiple pieces, of course. Does anybody want to eat any of the slavers?
No.
Do they look delicious?
They might do.
Hmm.
You'll never know until you try.
Yeah, exactly. You know, have an open mind.
I don't think so. Maybe the little doggies want to do.
Thought they were already munching on them anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they might actually be munching on them already. But yes, the hyenas they haven't been as problematic as you may have expected, but they seem to be getting bigger. And they are definitely it's definitely getting to the point where you're going to have to make a decision at some point. They can stay with you as your friends, but they're wild animals. And also, don't forget, you found them in the service of Yinogu, the demon lord of the Knolls. Now, Bonecracker, who obviously Cracker dislikes simply because she claims copyright infringement on her name, is not specifically that keen on taking care of these things. Moxie, of course, has been sort of bossing them around in sort of true hyena den mother fashion, with a little bit of help from Cracker on occasion and some of the others of you, including Delin. But they're hard to keep control of. They're exploring, they're getting bigger, they're wild animals. They've tasted flesh. It's something you should keep in mind. Bonecracker has been sniffing around some of these corpses whilst the rest of you were looting the shiny things, and she's picking up little things. They're more trinkets, and when you look at her, she looks back at you as if sort of expecting some confirmation that it's okay to do so. And when no one stops her, she will pocket the items that she has taken. She's not trying to be deceptive about it, but at the same time, she's not making a big deal out of it either. Those of you who notice see things like a deck of cards, uh, a small kazoo, which, for those of you who don't know, is literally about the size of the palm of your hand, and it's actually the length and width of maybe 2 or 3 fingers, and it's basically a small device that very simply makes a noise. It's kind of like a noisemaker for New Year's Eve, but it's actually a musical instrument that you can blow into, and it kind of goes. And she also has taken a small book, or it appears to be a book. It's not like a hardcover book. It's kind of like a rolled up, almost like a soft cover rolled up journal. It's not very thick. Um, it came out of one of the backpacks, and she's sort of thumbed through it, and she's taken it along with a small pot that looks like it could be ink, and a small feather that looks like it could be a quill. Does anyone want to stop her or ask her what she's doing or interfere in any way? You don't have to, of course. Just asking if you want to. Oh, live and let
Okay.
live.
Yeah.
Okay. What was it Zanice said last week about the girl going off the cliff?
Problem solved.
That was hilarious.
Nice. That was an interesting insight into Zanice's and possibly Daria's view on children. Cool. Okay. Yeah. So you guys have a couple of things in front of you. You've got a boat, right? You've got a dwarf lady who, as you may recall, was kind of upset about the treatment she had, but she's she's quite grateful to be saved, obviously. Are you going to the nearest dwarven enclave by any chance? Or are you going to get back to the surface?
We are going over the ravine. I'm going to show her the map that Cud drew and just point where we're going.
Oh, and what's over there?
Just somewhere we need to be.
All right. And she looks at you askance, and she backs off a little bit as if she's not entirely sure who you are or what your motivations are, since
Ditto.
you're obviously being a little bit, sus, as the kids might say.
Yeah, I don't know her motives either, so don't gonna give her everything.
Mm-hmm. Right. Well, I can't really just walk around on my own, but if you wouldn't be amiss to escorting me to one of the nearest dwarven trading posts, I'd be most grateful.
Well, you can follow along, but we are short on time. We need to be at that location in, I don't remember how many days it was. 2 days?
We
3
had
days?
6,
6
but
days,
When
but
I
we
think we're
started.
down to like 5 or 4 by now.
You have 2 days left at
2
this
days.
point.
Yep.
Ooh.
Well, there we go.
We need to be there
Although
in 2 days.
you need 2 days, but if you avoid if you look at the magical map, it no longer has this big looping diversion around what you now see is the ravine and the river. It just basically tells you to go across the ravine. So presumably the safety aspect of it was kicking in because you had to deal with this risk, which has now been neutralized.
Ah, it's a clever map.
And it is a clever map. And your estimated time of arrival is less than 1 day.
Mm. If you look at the map, are there any kind of marked trading posts, cities in the vicinity?
Yes. Well, no, there are, but none within a day's walk. You've got Gauntlgrim, which is listed there. Blingden Stone, which you know is way back in the other direction. You've got, of course, you've got Graven Hollow, and you've got Gracklestug, which you may remember is the city of the Grey Dwarves, the Duergar.
Yeah.
And there's Menzoberranzan.
Yeah, we're not going there. I guess you just have to stick with us, and if we pass a trading post or a city, we can take you there. But we need to be at this location in 2 days.
And then what's going to happen after? Do you plan to stay there? Is it a camp? Is it
To be honest,
are you soldiers or
no,
traders or
we are adventurers. We're the cool ones.
oh well yes of course.
So we are going to that
Um,
location, and when we get there, we don't know what happens next. You have to wait and see.
and what is it you're going to? I appreciate you don't want to share it, but is it some place that has civilization? Is it dangerous? I don't know if I can take much more danger.
Well, it shouldn't be dangerous, but we don't know the road there. It might be dangerous on the road, but the location should be safe.
Right. Will there be other adventurers or caravans? Could I possibly meet someone who could take me to Gauntlgrim or Mithril Hall or one of these other places?
There might be. I don't know. I've never been there before.
Oh, I see. Mm, mm, mm. Do you plan on staying a long time? Do you have any plans to go to Gauntlgrim or some other, or even the surface?
Well, we are planning to go to the surface soon. Hopefully. I think. I really haven't thought that far ahead. Kind of
I
one
see.
thing at a time.
Oh, I suppose I'll join you if you don't mind. I just it's probably not a good idea for a young lady such as myself to be walking around these dark caverns all by her lonesome. Wouldn't want any unwanted attention. And she sort of giggles, and when she giggles, everything moves, like literally everything. The beard, the boobs, the hair, her dress. There's a tinkle of like jewelry that's hidden from view, but you can hear it like jingling around down there. Well, that's very kind then. I don't suppose any of you have any beer. I'll even take wine.
I don't think so.
Not a drop, really? You haven't got any? What's he got? And she points at Cud, who's sipping on something in his teacup.
It's tea.
Tea? Do you mean from roots and herbs?
Yes.
How interesting. You have such an eclectic group of friends. Well, all right. All right. I'll just tag along then, and thank you very much again for rescuing me.
Oh, you're welcome.
And she sort of starts to fall in with the rest of the party, and she tries to walk in the middle of the group, but whenever she gets particularly close to Moxie by accident, the three little yappies start trying to nip at her, and she, down, boy, down, bad doggy. Do these belong to one of you? Could somebody please have them stop nipping at me? It's quite distracting.
Don't get so close, and maybe they won't.
And she sort of tosses her head, shakes it, her beard just like goes over, and she does the whole hair flip, but she does it with her beard included, and then she sort of walks closer to Delin. Don't often see a human down here.
Oh, I guess you don't.
Hmm.
My first
I
time
like
too.
what you've done
so-
with your hair.
Oh, thank you. It's kind of a dye from Schultz. So it was really
Oh.
expensive. Yeah.
Oh. And at the word expensive, she seems quite interested. Really now?
Yeah.
Would you have any left
No.
to spare?
Sorry, I used it all.
Oh, that's a shame. Oh, we could have been like sisters.
Yeah.
And she points at you, points at her. She's like tiny and huge boobs, and you're tall and not. And you've got short hair. She's got long hair. You've got no beard. She's got a massive flowing beard. It's like looking in the mirror.
Yeah. Twins.
And she slaps you on the butt, and then she slaps herself on the butt. Even has a jiggle.
Okay, let's go. Should we take the boat?
The boat looks sturdy. It's clearly large enough for the entire slaver party, including their captive plus some supplies. With the boat and your very large group, including Cud, who obviously takes a lot of space and weighs a lot, you don't think you can get across in one trip.
Okay.
If you want to take the boat down the river, you might have to find some other solution. If you just want to get across the river using the boat, you can certainly do that. But there is a current, and you'll have to find either a way to secure the boat or, just take the risk, get across, and then somebody comes back across, and you'll be much further downstream. But it doesn't look like it's so fast that the boat would just be swept away. Although it's hard to say, right? Sometimes currents on rivers are a little bit hard to predict. The surface might look like it's moving slowly, but actually underneath the surface, moving much more quickly, which all of you will have some experience with rivers having been on the surface for at least a period of time in your lives.
Where is the map saying that we need to go?
The map suggests that you literally cross the river at any point here.
Okay, so just cross it. Get over.
And if you're going to do a little bit more exploring around this area, you'll see that there are a number of dilapidated bridges that could be potentially used as anchor points, crossing areas. It's not impossible for you to get across using one of the bridges. The idea that you had with the snake wasn't necessarily going to fail. You didn't see anything as you were preparing to cross that would suggest that the idea wasn't going to work.
Okay. What do you guys think? Take the boat over and just hope for the best? Two groups?
Yeah.
I can also help with floating disc if that makes anything easier.
Yeah,
Maybe lighter.
because that will follow you even over the water, right?
Yeah.
Does it?
I don't know.
Not elevation, but anything else?
So let's see. It can move across uneven terrain, but I think there was I see that the language is not entirely clear, but if there was a clarification at some point, I remember reading that if you try to walk in the ocean, it's going to follow the contour of the earth.
Okay.
So water is not considered well, the word is terrain here, which is a little bit unclear, and actually I agree it suggests that it could work, but it's not supposed to work that way. It would be a
So-
much harder. I would have to say it would be a much harder argument for you not to be able to use if you had the ability to walk on water.
Yeah, but I
Hmm.
don't have that prepared.
Well, there you go.
He
We
says
could-
sounds like a personal problem tying away.
We could kind of make a raft of some of the planks from one of the bridges and kind of have it float on the water beneath the disc and tie it to the disc as well. So it has a hard surface that floats above the water. Might work.
Sounds creative.
A thought. If any of the planks are broken, I could mend them.
Yeah, and just tie them together with some of our rope and see if that is enough. That's kind of solid. And if we tie it to the disc as well and let that float on the water behind the boat, tie it to the boat, might work.
Can the disc be affixed to something?
I don't know if you can tie a rope around it. But if it follows at 20 feet behind Byleth, right? So if we have the raft tied to the disc 20 feet behind Byleth on the boat and row over, you can put the hyenas on, the cubs on the disc. So won't be such a loss if it doesn't work.
The hyenas kind of shy away from you, sort of instinctively understanding that
Yeah.
there's something evil going on here. Meanwhile, Zanice is like, another problem solved.
Or we could take the boat, tie some rope to it in one end and in the other end, and kind of have rope that we can follow as well, back and forth, and take 2 trips.
Maybe that's easier.
I feel like we have a real life engineer here that could provide some solutions. Or not. I only fix electrical components.
In helicopters.
Yes, Daria, I was referring to you.
I know.
Wow. I was intimidated there. Hey, I mean, you guys give it a try, right? What's the worst that could happen?
We all
Yeah.
drown.
Glub,
Another
glub,
buff.
glub, glub. What's that, Daria?
Another buff.
Another bath?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if we wait, I don't want to wait until tomorrow, but I do have some spells that would help with this, but
I would rather not wait either.
yeah.
Cud Cud obviously is listening to all of this, and he says, Cud can throw little furry ones.
Excuse me?
And he picks up one of the hyena cubs and sort of like in one hand, sort of gently tosses it up a little bit like he's sort of weighing it. Yes,
It's
Cud can throw it.
It's 50 feet. Sure.
Cud is strong. And he takes a rock that looks about the same size as one of the hyena cubs and just hurls it across the chasm. And you watch as it smashes and breaks into a million little pieces against the opposite wall. See? No problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. Probably
Mm.
not the most bad.
Can you also toss me over?
Oh.
Or are you not that strong?
Cud comes over and tries to pick you up in a bear hug. Sturdier than you look. No. Cud's strong, but not that strong. Maybe if Cud grabs tail and swings round and round.
Cracker could have done it. I'm sure.
Oh no. Now Cud is like determined. He's like so angry. Like his eyes are getting red. You see little cartoon bits of steam coming out of his ears. No. Cud must show Cud is strongest. And he immediately tries to grab Byleth.
No, it was a joke.
Roll, Daria, roll the grapple check. Byleth, Laura, you can roll the opposing.
Definitely.
Definitely.
Strength. Phew.
Yep. Or you can roll dexterity if dexterity's better. But that's good enough. And Cud, because he's so excited, just sort of misses. He just lunges, but he's a little bit taller than Byleth, so he just like kind of lunges, and Byleth just sort of ducks out of the way and bats the arms away. Oh, come here, little scaly one. Cud wants to give you a hug.
You have a lot to
and-
learn.
Which only enrages him further. And you now spend the next 2 minutes dodging Cud as he continuously tries to grab you and run after you. The little hyena cubs are all excited.
I think it's a
Bone Cracker
game.
is standing there leaning against the wall, looking at the little cards that she's picked up, the deck of cards. Maliborn is admiring his fingernails and making sure that they're pristine. Finally, Cud gets tired and he puffs himself out and then just kind of leans against the wall and says, oh, Cud needs tea. And again, out of nowhere, he pulls out a pot and a cup and he pours himself some tea. Lizard girl, much faster than looks and stronger.
Mm. That was fun.
If you say so. And he just literally flops down on the ground, legs spread out, barely able to hold the teacup. You can see the tea is literally shaking in the saucer, like he's like full of adrenaline.
I'm sorry, God.
It's okay, still friends. But Cud is strongest.
Of course.
Yeah. And he seems placated by that admission. Yeah, she told you. The dwarven woman is just sort of watching all of this. Oh, he is quite strong. Is he your bodyguard?
Well, more or less.
Where would I be able to hire someone like that? It would make my travels so much safer.
Maybe you can hire him.
I thought. Oh, maybe. Is he for hire? I thought he
Is
was
he
working for you.
I don't know. You have to ask him. He's our friend. We don't pay him.
Oh. He works for free?
Well,
Oh, that's quite good.
works. I don't know if it works a lot, but he's with us.
I'll ponder this. And she sort of has this look like she's mulling something over while she keeps an eye on Cud, intently watching his behavior. But you hear her whisper under her breath, I thought Minotaurus was supposed to be evil and dangerous. I don't understand why he's so docile and friendly. And he's almost kind of sweet, although he's a bit easily provoked, I must say.
Yeah, he's one of a kind.
Did you train him? Is that how he behaves this way?
No. I think it's something he ate.
And as you say the words, she looks at you and she stares at your mouth very closely. And then, after the longest pause, did you say something he ate?
Yes.
Like a biscuit?
No. A bit more slimy than that. But it
A
doesn't.
worm?
No. But it doesn't matter. He is what he is. He's cool.
I see. All right. Fair enough. Keep your secrets then. It's all right. I thought we had something going here, some sort of a bond, but I guess not. And she flips her beard and her hair again.
Yeah. Should we try to get over this river? Get going?
Sounds like
Yes.
a plan to me.
Maybe, I don't know. Cut is strong, so he can row the boat. Might be able. Shouldn't be a couple of strokes to get across the river down here. Cud. Shouldn't be too problematic, I think. Almost. Can almost jump.
Fine.
It's just 25 feet from the dock.
Cud can throw you.
Okay, throw me. I'm gonna turn into a kitten. Just a itty bitty cat. Oh, you can throw me.
Cute.
Wait,
Okay.
I'm gonna form a mind link. Wait, God. I'm going to put the end of the silk rope in my mouth before he throws me. And tie the other one on the dock.
Okay. Now, you've got the rope in your mouth, but as a kitten, your strength is extremely low. So just keep in mind that your ability to hold on to the rope, if it were to encounter some sort of jarring event, might be a little bit
Fine.
less.
Tie it around me then. So if I get it in the river, he can drag me up.
Okay, so this is a regular rope, right?
No, it's the silken rope.
Okay. So the silken rope is still reasonably thick. It's just made of silk, so it's lighter.
Yeah.
But it is not. It's not like a thread or something. Cud, using his massive fingers, ties this rope around you. Go ahead and roll a survival check for Cud to see how good a job he does.
Oh,
Oh dear.
That's a 1.
Yep.
oh no.
So by the time he's finished tying this thing, he's obviously a bit discombobulated. Oh, the rabbit goes in the hole and back out through the top, and the fox chases the rabbit around the tree one more time.
I'm just
He's obviously
envisioning
using some.
I've been kind of wrapped in the rope like a yarn ball, and you just see the cat's head on top of the yarn ball.
Yep, that's literally what happens. There's like your 4 legs are sticking out in like different weird positions. Your head is sticking out, and you're completely covered in this rope. And by the time Cud's done, there's not enough rope left to tie it to the dock and still throw you. And before anybody has a chance to stop him, Cud picks you up and tosses you across.
No.
Oh dear.
So the good news is the little bit of rope that you've got is going to give you some protection. The bad news is he throws you hard enough to make sure that you clear the platform or the chasm. What do you think? I think improvised weapon with strength bonus. You're gonna go splat basically against the wall. And you guys watch as this little ball of fluff suddenly just turns into a big wet blood stain. And Delin sort of lands on the ground with a bit of a concussion. Let's see. Shall we say 1d8 plus 4? I think that's reasonable. 9 points of damage, of which 1 point is absorbed by your cat form.
Okay. Math. Thank you, God. That's exactly what I was thinking about. Yeah.
Cut sort of flexes. He kisses his bicep. Minotaurs rule.
Yeah. Okay, I'm over.
The Lynn solo adventures. Where's the rest of the party?
Yeah.
Nobody knows.
Let's see. With a spear, can I throw a spear? Is that a throw weapon?
Sure, of course.
Mhm.
Yeah, spears a ranged weapon as well as a melee weapon.
I don't know if going to do any difference, but
Do you need the stats for a spear?
oh, I have it. I found it.
Okay.
Okay, 20 feet range, 60 with disadvantage.
Yep.
It's 25 over. That sucks.
Oh, if only somebody had inspiration or something.
Oh, well, I do.
See?
Problem solved.
Yeah. First, I have to untangle myself from the rope and try to get it off. And oh, Jesus, God, what are these knots? Oh,
Oh, yeah, that's right. Because it was tied around your small body, it's now basically choking.
yeah.
It's just all around your neck, and it's so tight. You're like, I mean, strength check or wild shape, whatever you want.
Yeah, well, I don't have any wild shapes left.
And the rest of you stand on the edge of the pier as you watch Delin slowly choke to death and pass out.
Oh no. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
You were very nice sometimes.
Sometimes.
You'll be missed for like 30 seconds.
Oh my God, that's so mean. Cud says, Cud will save you. And he immediately picks up one of the hyena cubs without asking and starts launching it over. Anybody try to stop him?
Yes.
Yeet! Too late. Okay, so go ahead, Susan, and roll some damage.
What were we rolling? for damage
1d8.
1d8?
Mm-hmm.
2.
Okay, so this is a baby hyena. How many hit points do you think a baby hyena has?
18.
2.
Had to try.
The
Probably the
baby
same as your
hyena is
kitten.
crushed. Is just a pulp. Neck broken, blood.
Moxie screams at Cud, you animal asshole.
Oh, what? I was trying to be helpful.
Yeah, you just killed a hyena pup. Murder.
And he puts the other one down gently and pats it on the
Mhm.
head. The two hyena cubs shiver and seem to find solace in each other as they whine a little bit. Kind of sorry.
Sure he is.
You still have 2.
She kind of glares at him. With like that
Mm.
look of if looks could kill, he'd be dead.
Mm. Mm. Ooh. Maybe Cud should just ooh, yeah. Ooh, would you like some tea? And he pulls out his teapot and his cup.
Moxie kind of rolls her eyes and mutters something about shoving the teapot where it doesn't belong.
Don't think that would be very comfortable.
And that's the whole point.
Oh. Oh. And he starts walking carefully along the edge of the wall with his back to the wall and away from Moxie.
First smart
Cud
thing you've
is
done today.
Cud is genuinely very sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Bonecracker, watching all of this, says, "That is a shame. I might have been able to tame it over time. But, if Inugu had gotten his claws into them, they might have just turned into wild monsters. Not entirely a waste, in my opinion."
Moxie glares at Bonecracker. You know better.
Glare all you want. I'm just speaking the truth.
Uh-huh.
My race is wild, untamed, bestial, and ferocious. If you want to help them, you'll have to help me. I think I have a solution, but it will take time and effort. And actually, you might be able to help with that.
Mm.
I've noticed you taking notes. You teach me how to keep a journal. I want to start recording our history as a people.
You want to learn to write.
Well, it has to start somewhere.
Okay.
I've been thinking about it. And one of the things I've noticed all of you do is keep notes. Some of you refer to your books all the time. And she points at Byleth. It seems as if we will never move forward unless we know our past. And knowing our past means recording it. I saw these implements being used by others that we hunted. And she pulls out the little pot of ink and the quill feather. And they wrote in something like this. I know it's a book. I've seen them before. I don't know what they do with it exactly, but if you could show me, I think that would be helpful.
Sure.
Thank you.
Moxie gets to teach letters to a gnoll. Sweet.
So Delin is manages to get out of the. Sorry.
Help! Stuck.
You help, and then eventually you figure out that actually Cud, although he was very thorough getting the whole rope around you, doesn't know how to tie a knot if his life depended on it. Basically, all he did was make a big, long, twisty pretzel. And with one successful loop, you manage to get the whole thing to loosen up. And then it slides off your neck. And now it's basically just dangling around your shoulders like a very fancy chain.
Nice. Accessories. Like it. Okay, what now? I'm here, you're there.
Cud slowly raises one hoofy hand and then he looks at all the rest of you, and then he kind of lowers it.
Maybe take the boat.
I went and take the boat across. Well, tie another rope anyway. I think we have more than one. Or do you have all of them?
No, I only have the silk rope and my own hempen rope.
Unless somebody wants to.
Cud
over.
could hold the rope on this end.
Yeah. Tie a rope to the boat. Cud stays over there. You row over. We tie my rope to the boat on this side. Row back, get the others, and then the boat won't get caught by the river.
Anyone know how to row a boat?
It's just rowing. Malibor.
On the one
row
hand,
away.
it's not, it's
It's just rowing. Okay.
Maliborn looks at the boat and just sort of makes a sucking sound in his teeth. Yes, no, rowing a boat isn't really my bag. We used slaves for things like that. Goblins are good. Quaggoth are very good for rowing boats. I would definitely recommend using a Quaggoth. But we don't have any. I'm more of a passenger.
Okay, but someone has to row.
Well, I know I don't know how to row, so.
You put the oars in and push back. And up and back.
Okay.
And I'm doing the rowing motions. Like I'm doing back home now. I'm doing the rowing motions.
And for the rest of you, it looks like she's doing some kind of a funky version of the Macarena.
Yep.
Some Pilates.
Yeah.
Some Pilates. Okay, so who's going to get in the boat?
Nope. Moxie will try since she's apparently learned how to row a boat from across the ravine.
Okay, are you taking the two little hyena cubs?
Yes, and glaring at Cud as she does,
Okay,
cuddling them next to her as she sets them in the boat.
all right. Maliborn will also go with you, as will the dwarf lady and Cracker. So technically, you're going to be somewhere around here, probably. Okay. Go ahead and have us have a little survival check to see if you've managed to learn the lesson that Dylan was trying to impart upon you from across the chasm.
Ooh.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, how does Moxie show off her new her boat rowing skills?
Kind of like literally like a professional rower, just puts them in and digs and pulls backwards, kind of grunting as she does, like as if it took effort, but she knows it didn't. All the way
Right.
across.
Yeah. You all watch in surprise, considering all the protesting that Moxie put in as she effortlessly just sort of glides the boat across like she's a professional scull. And the thing it goes at such high velocity that the nose of it literally bounces up the bank, and it's halfway up the bank before the rest of you even realize that the ride's over. The two little hyena cubs are excited, and a little scared being on the water. Maliborn kind of goes, "Ooh, easy, tiger." And you can all manage to get out. Everybody can roll a dex save and see if you manage to fall in the river. Let's see. Susan, you can roll for yourself. Daria, why don't you roll for this cub here? Laura, you roll for this cub here. Very good. Uh-oh.
3.
Laura.
I'm sorry.
Henrietta,
no.
you can roll for the dwarf lady. Okay, she's fine. Susan, you want to roll for Bone Cracker? Laura, do you want to roll for Maliborn? Daria, do you want to roll for Cracker?
10.
All right.
One more.
Oh
Oh.
Hmm.
Well, that was successful. You got half of them across. They're floundering in the water, but they're close to the shore. So, for the most part, all that's happened is they've just gotten very, very wet. They're very pissed off about it. If you want, you can each roll. I think so. Susan, you get to choose who you're going to roll for, and Laura and Daria, you each roll for Cracker or whoever is not going to be selected by Susan.
She was gonna roll for the pup.
Okay, roll for the pup. All right, the pup manages to scramble ashore, very, very wet, shakes its fur, and now seems to have permanent PTSD from the experience with water.
Tries to console the
know-
poor thing.
Mm-hmm.
Now you know
Dara, do you
who's
want to
who.
roll for? Now you know who's who. Yeah. Dara, do you want to roll for Cracker? We'll just do a straight roll. Okay, that'll be good enough because Cracker's pretty strong. So she's going to have advantage, which I'm calculating as +5. And Laura, do you want to roll for Bone Cracker?
14.
And Bone Cracker climbs out of the water and does a similar fur shake as the little cub. She's not so upset about the water, although she doesn't like it, but she's not afraid of it. So you've got the boat on this side, and you managed to successfully row the boat over. You've still got 2 people on the other side, plus Cud. Well, 3 if you count Cud.
We're just gonna start our own civilization. It's fine. No need to go with you.
The horned ones.
Yeah, right. Gonna drink a lot of tea.
You drinking horned ones. There you go.
That's pretty funny, actually. Yeah, good. Yeah, good observation. Okay, so how do you guys get the rest of the group over?
We tie the rope to the boat so Cud can just pull it back and they can get in the boat.
Okay, so yeah, the boat drifts downstream, but then Cud sort of reels it in, and you've got the boat now with it tied on one end and held by Cracker, or Cud rather. And now the 3 of you are all going to get in together?
Yeah. Just roll.
Who's going to row?
Cud.
God. We're ladies. Gonna talk about our nails and about the
You can
nice
just-
times we had.
He can just push off from the shore and you're over.
Okay, I guess I could give it a try. But you saw what I did with that rope.
That's okay. Everybody makes mistakes.
Mm,
I
he
believe
seems a
in
bit
you.
gun shy after the whole, dead hyena cub incident.
I'm gonna pretend to cast guidance on the man because he's not close enough. So I'm just gonna pretend you got this and pretend placebo effect.
Oh, yeah, the placebo effect. Yeah. Go ahead and roll for Cud, Henrietta. And we'll say the placebo effect works is a +1 because, yeah, sure, it definitely should count a little bit.
So that's a 12.
And he does manage to get it across. Well, you know the drill. Everybody roll a dex save to see if you can get out of the boat in the fast moving shaky current. All right. Zanice is floundering in the water. It's a bath, I guess, but it's really cold and it's super fast. You want to roll a survival check to see if you can get out on your own, or else she's going to be carried away. Oh no!
Oh no.
God help!
Cud immediately jumps in the water after you. He's going to roll a strength check to try to catch you. Why don't you roll it for yourself there, Daria? Just a d20. All right, he grabs onto you. Now the two of you are locked in an embrace as you're being swept down the river. We'll just go in order. Henrietta, does Delin want to do anything, or do you want to order someone else to do something?
I don't know if there's much I can do.
We won't forget you.
Yeah.
We'll meet you at the library.
Far. 70. Yeah, I can't do much. I can put up spike rows. That
Ooh,
get them to stop.
That
yeah,
will
that would
definitely
that probably
stop them.
that would definitely work. That would definitely stop them.
But it would also hurt them a lot.
could just
What's a couple of
get a
thorns?
web, but then they're restrained, so someone would have to get them. And it wouldn't hurt them, so
I think
I don't know.
web's better. Spike rows,
Hmm
to be
Probably.
honest.
Okay. So are you casting web or spike growth?
Web.
Web.
And a gigantic network of tangly, sticky spiderwebs appears, blocking the entire channel. And Cud and Zanice are caught up in it successfully. Unless, Daria, for example, you don't want to be caught in the web and you try to avoid it, you dexterity save with
No.
disadvantage. Okay,
no.
right. So now you're both stuck to it. Well done.
The boat's still here? Or is that also...
Yeah, the boat. No, the boat made it to the shore, and it just kind of got docked. It kind of got pushed up onto the edge.
Okay, I'm gonna tie a rope to it, and I'm gonna slowly try and lower it down to them. So,
Lower the boat down to them.
yeah,
Okay. Yeah. Is it far enough?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, that's 45 feet. There,
Perfect.
it's now.
Okay.
Jump on.
So Cud will reach out. Cud will reach out to the boat. He's still stuck to the web. Daria, do you want to hold on to Cud, or do you want to try to reach the boat yourself?
I'm gonna hold on to the cat.
Hold on to Cud?
Yeah.
Okay. So Cud is holding on to you. You're holding on to Cud. Cud is holding onto the boat, but you're still stuck to the web.
When I see they have the grab of the boat, I'm going to tie the boat to the bridge.
Ah, okay. Go ahead and roll survival to see how good a knot you make.
7.
Apparently not very good at knot tying.
If only people had like inspiration and bardic inspiration and guidance and all these things that would be so helpful in a situation like this. Yeah. So we could be here all day, but because you've seen Cud tie this horrible knot around your neck, you successfully realize the mistakes he made, and your 7 is actually going to be with advantage, which is +5, so you'll get 12, which is more than enough, really. A knot is not that hard to test. 5 would have worked anyway. You manage to secure it, and with Cud's strength, he is able to pull the boat with Zanice in it all the way back up to the original starting point. The two of you, having learned from your mistakes, Cud just sort of picks Zanice up and gently tosses her onto the bank. She lands with a thud. Doesn't take any damage, but it's definitely very muddy. So now you've got that problem. And Cud clambers out, having also learned from his mistakes, and avoids falling in a second time, whilst the web spell presumably disappears. Oh,
Thank you.
that was very, very stressful.
Thank you, Kat.
You're welcome. And he pats you gently on the head, which for him is gentle, but for you, it's like your
Ow.
head feels like it's going into the shoulders. And then he recoils his hand on your horns. It's like, oh, sharp. Ugh. And he pops open one of his horns and he pulls out a cup and saucer, hands it to you, pulls out another one, and holds onto it himself. And then the teapot comes out and he pours a cup of tea for the both of you.
Thank you.
Oh, phew. Well, that was exciting, but now we should get going.
Yeah, we should.
Definitely.
Yeah.
What do we do with that one? And he points at the mangled corpse of the hyena cub. Give it to the river god? Eat it?
I don't know. It's Moxie's pet, so I guess she has to decide.
No. She's going to basically try and bury it somewhere.
Okay. I mean, it's mostly stone, but you know, if you try hard enough, you can find enough rocks that you could pile a cairn on top of it.
That works.
I'm gonna help her with mold earth where I can.
So by the time she's just about finished piling up all these little rocks, suddenly Delin just like scoops out a gigantic little grave. Do you do it like where she's actually piling the cairn up? So she's piled the cairn up and then you just like scoop the earth underneath and then flop it over
No. I'm not gonna
like
be
a
an ass.
like a giant pancake. All right. Well, you have a choice of a massive 5-foot deep pit, or you could just keep it there under this small pile of rocks. Moxie, what would you like to do?
Moxie's going to keep the little cairn that she built.
Okay. Do you want the extra earth that Delin has moved to be piled on top of the cairn?
No.
All right.
So ungrateful.
Well.
I'm just gonna walk away.
Yeah, exactly.
Ungrateful. Okay.
I
Fine.
used 6 seconds
She's-
on this cantrip, casting this cantrip.
Yes, because she's in such a mood right now. She really
I'm sorry.
doesn't care.
I'm sorry. I know you like them.
Kind of wipes her eyes and snuggles with the other two.
And they're not really keen on snuggling because, you know, they still don't really
Yeah.
consider you like the mother, right? You're just sort of like somebody they listen to because they have no choice. So, like, the more you try to snuggle them, the more they think it's like a little bit of some combination of play fighting versus being restrained, and they kind of like nip at you and try to, you know, squirm their way out of your arms.
I nip back and place them back on the ground.
Okay, fair enough. Cud looks at all of you and says, Cud thinks it's this way.
Okay, let's go.
All right. Of course, the one stays behind. All right, so it is a good time to take a little break. Shall we? How long do people need? 5 minutes, 7 minutes, 10 minutes? Those are your choice. Okay. 5 it is. Cool. We'll make it 5 and we'll be reconvene. Thanks, everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Bye. Hi, we hope you're enjoying this episode, and if so, please like and subscribe. And remember, the next time your DM says, roll initiative, yell back,
Here,
hold my earrings.
Here, my earrings.
This is good. I think we only need this take.
he leads you, and also the magical directional Donde está la biblioteca brooch down a long and winding corridor that gets narrower and narrower until you come to what appears to be a dead end. The dead end is just a long corridor full of rocks around you as far as you can see and feel, and it's so narrow that you can pretty much extend your arms out and almost with your fingertips touch both edges of the wall. It's basically single file. You can squeeze past each other if you need to, but Cud is having a hard time moving through it, and the rest of you would not be able to fight side by side if you want to use that as an example. This is where you guys are. Yep. You guys see that?
Yes.
Right. So, what would you all like to do?
Does the map show we're still going in the right direction?
It does. The map seems to suggest you're supposed to go through the wall.
On the left or the right?
Straight ahead.
Oh. Well then, go through the wall.
Who wants to do that?
I will take the initiative and squeeze past everybody.
Okay.
Including Cud. Getting myself all sorts of dirty and trying to go
Okay.
through the wall.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of dust in, so yeah, you're definitely going to get a little bit dirty. You get up to the. So, how exactly are you trying to get through the wall?
Well, she's gonna test the wall to see if it's solid. Like, kind of put her hand on it and push.
Yep. It definitely
Like-
feels solid.
Feels solid. Is there anything on the map that would indicate how to get through the wall?
No, it just has a glowing trail.
That goes through the wall. Delin, can you move the wall? Or put a hole in the wall?
I guess it's solid rock, so nope.
And above us, there's also just rock, like there's a ceiling. Right?
Very good question. So the ceiling is quite tall. It's about 12, maybe 15 feet tall. And just before the rock, the ceiling seems to go higher. So it now looks like it's almost 20 feet tall. And the door, and there's no doorway, obviously, but if you were angling it, it would probably take. So it starts. Let me just do it here by ping. So the ceiling is fairly consistent between 12 and 15 feet through this entire section, leading up to here, and then from here it goes up to about 20 feet at the door. So it rises nearly, almost 5 foot per 5 foot section.
In that extra space, is there does the wall go all the way up still? Or is there like a space in between? Like someone could crawl through?
Not sure I'm
Like a-
following you.
Like those doors that have windows at the top?
Uh-huh.
So
would you, if you're 6, how tall is Moxie?
How tall is Moxie? Almost 5'8", so she's not
Right.
that
So
tall.
So my dog is about 3 feet at the shoulders. He cannot see over the top of my refrigerator.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
So I
gonna
couldn't see that high anyway.
climb on Cud's back and stand on his shoulders to see if I can see anything.
Okay. Yeah, you Moxie gets pushed out of the way. Cud goes back to the front. This is all very complicated. You climb on top of Cud's shoulders. And as you climb up to the top, Cud is maybe what, 8.5, 9 feet tall, and you are maybe not quite 6 feet tall.
Yeah.
So between the two of you, you're about maybe 12, 13 feet. Once you get just over the top, you don't see anything, but you sense a breeze at the very top.
There's a breeze here. Violet, do you have your lantern, horn lantern?
My levitate, you mean? Or
No, the lantern in your
I
horn,
don't.
the light.
A lantern, of
Yeah.
course. I don't have levitate. I feel very bad about that, but I do have two of the lantern. Yes.
I'm just gonna take the lantern and just try and shine and kind of look up to see if I can see anything more.
Yeah. As you look up with your non-dark vision eyes, you see that although the sloping ceiling behind you reflects light because there's some mineral in it that reflects light, and there's a little bit of dampness, and the walls on either side of you also reflect light. There is no reflection of light directly in front of you.
There might be a hole here.
Don't we have the rope of climbing from Piers? Or do we not take that?
I think you took it, didn't you? Didn't you take everything from Piers?
I took the rope of the other one, rope of entanglement.
Maybe Cracker took it. It's not. I can check the bag of holding.
Pretty sure I took it
I
though.
can check Cracker's inventory. And if she does have it, then you guys can certainly use it. It's just taking a sec to load. Wow, she's got a lot of stuff on here. I don't think she remembers she's got all this stuff. You guys remember the joke about the crampons? That was a good one.
Yep.
And bag of Cessna's liver chips, flask of mead, iron pot. Golly.
Does she plan on doing cooking or something?
Yeah, I don't know.
Isn't that Violet's pot, actually?
Well, it's Crackers now.
Because Violet didn't have room for it. It was too heavy or something. So
Wasn't
She
that
does
the
not have a
pot
rope
that
of
we
climbing.
put squid ivy in or something?
Yeah, I think it was Ivy's home for a brief point.
It's not in the bag of holding either. So.
She has grappling hooks. She has pitons. She has crampons. She has a rope. I mean, it's not like you need a magical rope just to climb 20 feet.
So in other words,
been
she's
cool,
got
though.
all the rock climbing equipment we could ever need.
I do also have a grappling hook and crampons. So
Sometimes you don't need a magical solution for a mundane problem.
Yeah.
Well, then shall we make it so we can climb up the wall?
Well, I think that someone else than me should do it because I don't have dark vision. So if I get up there, I can only see the area that's in light or nothing at all. So I think I'm just gonna climb down. But there's a breeze up there, so there is a hole. I'm gonna climb down from Cudden.
I don't think I'm strong enough to get things into a rock wall, so. Can Cracker do it?
God can throw you.
We've discussed the throwing. No more throwing.
Oh, but Cud is good at throwing. Cud throws
No.
far.
No more throwing. She emphasizes no more.
You're not the boss of Cud.
Yeah.
Rrrr.
Okay. Uh-huh. Sure. No more throwing. Yeah. Go grumble in your corner, sir.
Well,
Better call me sir.
we need him as a ladder to get up there.
Well, I know I'm not going to be able to put anything into the rock wall. I'm not strong enough to do it. So somebody else is going to have to do it.
What what's the trouble here? Why are we stopped? It's very narrow.
Can you get through a rock wall?
A rock wall, you say? How do you know it's a wall?
How we know it's a wall? The wall. Look at it. But there's a hole on
Well,
the top.
I can't get through it. It doesn't open. It doesn't move. It's solid.
Ah, I see. Would you mind if I take a look?
Go ahead.
Sure.
And she squeezes past everybody. And she starts to examine the area in front of this rise in elevation in the ceiling. She sort of stands there. She sniffs it. She pushes things. At one point, you actually think you see her bend down and lick the ground while she's on her hands and knees. Hmm. And she's stroking her beard absentmindedly. Interesting. Ooh. Ah, right. Here we are. And she presses down on a little indentation on the side of one of the walls. It's about 4 feet off the ground. She pushes with both hands, and you hear. And out of the side of the wall, a stairwell comes out. A set of stone stairs slides out sideways, which then lead up to the upper section.
Huh.
And she dusts her hands off and says, "Ah, yes, not quite a secret entrance, but pretty close. It's cleverly designed. Of course, it does take a dwarf to see the difference. There you go. You're welcome."
Thank you. Good job.
Thanks a lot.
See, told you. And she shakes her beard again.
Under the stairs we go?
Yep.
They go up.
Okay.
So basically, you had a rising elevation in the ceiling, but no change in the elevation in the ground. And now this set of stone stairs slides out from the side of one wall. And when it slides out, you realize now that there was a very hard to see pattern. And the stairs slide out sideways, and they now stand in front of you so you can walk up to the top where you felt that breeze.
Well, up the stairs we go.
Yep.
Who's going first?
Moxie will go first.
I'll join her right behind her.
Okay.
going next to the lady. Dwarf lady.
Okay, as you walk up, you realize you are entering a cavern, a chamber, say. It is worked stone all around. It is very very nicely carved, but it's quite ancient and not in heavy current use by the amount of dust that you can sense everywhere. And you guys want to walk into the cavern, the chamber itself? Go ahead and move your tokens.
I'm
Okay.
going to listen, and I can't see much, but I'm going to have a produce flame in
Okay.
my palm just to get some light. And I'm also going
Yeah.
to listen, see if I
Very
can
good.
hear anything. So
Okay. So
perception.
you have the light on and you can see the whole chamber. The chamber clearly is a large chamber with what appear to be two mechanical devices and a central platform with a couple of steps leading up to it. These devices on either side look like they're giant winches, and they have chains attached to them. But the chains are now broken. You can see the broken ends of it. There is a central platform in the middle, and the stairs and everything around that you can see are made of stone, with the exception of the winches and chains and the central platform. The central platform seems to be made of some kind of zirkwood. The whole room smells of dust, but it also smells of oil and grease. And in the corner, you see a hunched over figure lying there, just sort of staring off into the distance. He's wearing all white. He seems to be humanoid. You can't see a whole lot more than that. Just off here in the corner here. I know you don't see a token yet.
Which corner? I didn't see a ping.
Up here.
Still no ping.
Like up here?
Oh, am I not in the ping thing? Oh, I'm pinging secretly. There we go.
Okay.
Over there, to my left.
Does he look alive?
Well, I mean, you could always go over there and give him a kick just to see what's going on.
Yeah, but he didn't react to the light, to my produce flame.
Yeah, nothing seems to have changed.
Are both bits of the chain there? Like, or is it like broken and like half of it you don't see?
You
Like
see
the
broken chain ends all strewn all over the paving stones.
Okay.
But there is actually a what appears to be a rope, like a typical, kind of hempen style rope in the middle of the platform here. If you can see that, ping. Suspended from the ceiling, and there's a small winch at the top of the ceiling. The ceiling is about 40 feet up, and you can see that there are some tunnels leading away from the chamber in other directions.
Yeah. And the map says that we are supposed to go...
Which way?
So the map points in a direction that doesn't seem to follow either of these two passages leading out of this room. The map also, as a reminder, doesn't tell you about elevation change. It shows you topography, but it doesn't tell you that, it doesn't specify go up 20 feet or down 20 feet or something. So the map is telling you to come in here, and then it goes off in this direction. If you saw that.
Yep. Malibor, can you come here and just have a look on the other side to see if the tunnel on the other side goes straight ahead, or?
Yeah, well, of course. and he takes a quick little peer around the corner. Doesn't expose himself too much. It appears to continue. It turns a bit further south. I don't think it's going to go in the direction you need. And that one obviously is not going in the right direction.
So it looks like we have to go down. Down to the deep.
What about him?
I don't know. I don't feel like talking to anyone.
Oh, fine. Moxie will walk over and kind of tap him on the shoulder. Excuse me, sir.
The DM cries in his cups.
Hey, nobody's stopping her from doing this, so.
No, I meant Henrietta's comment.
Oh.
Did it on purpose.
No. You tap him on the shoulder, and it is a very fine silken robe. It is gleaming white and has gold trim along it, all of the edges, and it has a cowl. The hands look human or humanoid. He looks like a well-built man. He lifts up his cowl, and you see his face in the light.
Oh! Are you the real one or a clone?
He looks at you and says, I don't know who I am.
Oh.
I'm here to operate the lift. Would you like to go up? And he walks over towards the central lift, and he stands in the middle, and he holds onto the rope.
Okay, so you don't have any other purpose than just operating the lift?
I don't remember. I don't remember how I got here. And you notice with your high perception that his hands are black and streaked with what looks like slime or mold or something.
Well, I'm going to tell the others that we encountered, well, not him, but another him before, that this is the simulacrum of Agamemnon Scorch. If I'm not mistaken. Same guy that was under the portal. Huh. Are we taking the lift? Does it work?
Does it only go up?
It goes up. I can make it go up. It doesn't work, but I can do it.
Okay.
And he looks at his hands, and you see him fiddle about with a very large sack that slings over one of his shoulders and over his back. And he pulls out a book. Byleth will recognize this as a spell book.
Can I try something on you?
Yes?
Give me your hands.
And he reaches out his hands toward you.
I'm gonna take my robe and wipe the mold off. And I'm going to try and cast the spell magic on him as I wipe the.
Okay. You start casting your Dispel Magic spell. He instinctively pulls his hands back. But he doesn't stop you. And you see something glimmer in his eyes. His eyes light up. And as you complete the spell, he blinks. Oh. That was interesting. I wonder if that's what happened to my master. Hello, I'm Agamemnon Scorch's Simulacrum, version 4. How do you do?
We're fine.
Where are we?
Good question. In the Underdark?
The Underdark. I recognize this room. This is supposed to be a lift.
Yes.
Are we near Graven Hollow?
Yes.
Oh, right. Yes. I was going to Graven Hollow. I had a mission. I was supposed to research what the black mold was doing on the surface
Oh.
and report back, and also find out what had happened to my master. And somehow I got here, and then I don't remember anything else.
Yeah.
How long have we been here?
I don't know how long you've been here, but we only got here.
Oh. I wonder what the date is.
Me too.
And you see him pull out what appears to be an hourglass, and it glows briefly as he touches it. Ah, I seem to have lost about 6 months of time. Interesting. Hmm. And he looks at the winches. These were working the last time I was here. I don't mean me, I mean Agamemnon Scorch. The rope. Ah, interesting. And then he looks down at the ground, which is to say the platform, and you see that the platform is very rickety. It's certainly strong enough to hold him, but you're not sure it could hold all of you, and certainly would not hold Cud. Why am I wearing these gloves? And I had the book out.
You were
And
going.
look at those straps. I was going to what?
You were going to take us up on the lift. You said that you could do that, even though the lift is
Lift.
broken.
Oh, look there. And he points at the lift around the central hole. You now realize there's a hole in the platform, and the rope actually goes through the hole. And on either side of the hole are a number of metal bolts, and attached to the metal bolts are some very long, extremely sturdy looking leather straps. And he picks them up and he looks at them. They're so long that he can actually hold them up over his shoulders. Oh, I see. One moment. And he pulls out his spell book, flips through it. Right. Floating disc. Yes, I think this will work. But what happens if... And then he reaches instinctively towards his hip with his left hand, whilst holding his spellbook in his right. And he taps it, and you see for the first time there's a protrusion inside his robe. He's not just happy to see you. He pulls out a rod. And with one press of a button, it snaps open on either side, and aha, the emergency brake. And he presses the button again, and it retracts. Very good. Yes, I think this will work. He steps in under the straps on either side, and he holds on to the rope. And then he reads the spell book and produces a floating disc 10 minutes later. I think I can pull the rope and pull the platform. And then the rest of you can stand, or at least some of you, can stand on the floating disc, and we'll all go up together. After that, I'll come back down and get the rest.
Yeah, or our friend Pilot here can make another disc.
Oh, a daisy chain of discs.
Yeah.
What a brilliant idea.
I can do that.
Well, you'll need one just for the big fellow. I don't think the rest of you will fit on my disc, but we can make 2 trips. It shouldn't be a problem. Graven Hollow is safe. Shall we?
Yes.
Very good. Climb aboard, as they say. So who wants to go on the first trip?
I'll go.
Of course
I'll
you
be a
will.
guinea pig.
Oh wait.
Yeah,
I
because
also need to do
Moxie's
the
always
floating
got to
disc.
go first.
Okay. Well,
If I
the
do the
two little
floating disc, then
hyenicus. You
should
can
I
also bring a couple people. Yep.
Okay.
You can cast yours. You can bring a couple of people. He'll bring a couple of people. You'll basically be able to get everybody except Cud initially. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3. Yeah, I think Byleth is just heavy enough that she's going to need to take up quite a lot of the space on Agamemnon's disc. Byleth and Cracker in 1, maybe the Cubs as well. And then the rest of you can, or most of the rest of you can ride the second one. Maybe one of you needs to go with. No, that'll be enough. Okay, so you managed to do this daisy chain, the first one, and you see Agamemnon, despite the fact that he's wearing what appears to be just arcane or wizardly, very fine robes, his muscles are bulging through this very fine silken material, and you can see that he is extremely well built. And he just hauls this rope, hand over hand. It's very slow going, but it's consistent, and he's able to get you all the way up. The rest of you riding on this floating disc have an enjoyable, if slow, ascent. And of course, the second set of floating discs, the second floating disc is similarly stable. This chimney-like vertical passage is very well constructed. It has stone panels throughout. There's no rough or unworked stone appearing. And you all get out in a room similarly shaped like this. Then you go back down with Agamemnon, and he does the same thing again with the remainder of the party and Cud. And eventually, you all arrive in a section that opens into a larger cavern. And you see a gigantic door carved into the stone with what appear to be giant statues in front of it. The statues standing there look very imposing. They're about 25 feet tall, maybe 30. But you also sense that the eyes are following you. And the head even tilts a little bit and looks down upon you. Welcome to Graven Hollow.
Thank you. Well, we made it.
Yay!
Finally. I'm just gonna look at the statue. Can we enter?
Seekers of knowledge in peace are welcome.
Yep.
Violations will be dealt with harshly.
Oh, we're as peaceful as they come.
It doesn't seem to understand the extra commentary.
We'll be
You suspect this is not a creature, but some sort of construct or magical device.
Yeah. Okay. Should we enter?
Let's go.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay. As you enter, the first thing you realize is that this is an entrance carved into the stone, but on the other side of the entrance, you see what appear to be Phaerzres geode crystals throughout the walls. The cavern ceiling, it looks like you're inside a giant geode, basically. And then you look and you look up and you see what it looks like a massive city carved into the stone in front of you. It's much bigger looking on the inside than it is on the outside. The sheer fact that you walk through the doors gives each of you, perhaps not Cracker, but the rest of you certainly, this bizarre and slightly uncomfortable tingling sensation. You instinctively understand several things. One, pretty much all of your magic is disabled, with the exception of divination spells. Magical items continue to work, but spell-like effects of magical items will not, and you won't be able to cast any spells other than divination. Two, you also seem to be able to understand each other perfectly. All the writing that you see is immediately decipherable or understandable, even if you realize that it's actually a different language. You think that there's some magic here that allows everybody who comes to visit to have full comprehension.
Okay.
As you're walking towards the main set of buildings directly in front of you, you come up behind what looks like a very large and intimidating looking creature. Let's have everybody roll a either survival check or a history check in case you guys might know what it is.
Jesus.
Yeah, nice.
Show off. Show off. Show off.
Oh no.
Aww.
Wow, that was pretty funny.
No, it wasn't.
There is Moxie and Zanice have heard of this kind of creature. It has a long lizard-like form. It seems to be, but it's dressed in clothing. It seems to be looking specifically with its head down, and it has 8 legs. It has a hat. You don't see from the front of it what it is exactly, but there's also a large stone topiary statue garden of creatures. They are a combination of monsters and monstrosities, such as some of these multi-legged creatures you fought before in the Underdark, as well as what appear to be human beings or humanoids in armor, usually in some sort of pose as if they were attacking or defending. It seems to be looking down, trying not to look at anything in particular, as far off in the distance you see a number of humanoids moving about, entering and exiting the main building entrance. It doesn't seem to have noticed you yet.
Guess we just keep going forward.
You won't be able to go forward without passing this thing.
Go up to it. I guess.
Okay. Do you say anything? Do you attack it? Probably get away with a sneak attack.
No, just walking up to it and say hello.
It jumps away from you briefly, and then before it looks at you, it turns its head away. Oh, you surprised me. Well,
Sorry.
welcome. Welcome to Craven Hollow. I am Veldeskar.
Okay. Weldeskar? That what you said?
Veldiskar.
Not how I wrote it.
Same.
I am the guardian of Graven Hollow, and I work for the librarians. Do you come in peace?
Yes. Always.
And although he doesn't look at you, he flicks his tongue out in your general direction, which you sense is some sort of sensory organ.
That's not really true, is it?
Well, maybe not always, but we come in peace now. Well, we usually
And
come
he
in
flicks his
peace.
tongue again.
It's just everybody seems to attack us.
And he flicks his tongue repeatedly as you say all these things.
All right, fair enough. Well, this is Graven Hollow, the great library of the giants. It has been here since time immemorial, and the giants use it as a repository of knowledge and keep track of events past, present, and future.
Sure.
Yes, all those who have visited, all those who visit, and all those who shall visit may be found in the halls of Graven Hollow. The three main libraries are separated by their temporal focus. Aside from being a hall of records for giant kin, it is also the unparalleled resource for history and future events for the Underdark, as the librarians are stone giants, and that is their primary interest. However, events amongst the mortal and short-lived races.
And he points to Dylan, the human-looking Kalishtar, the Dragonborn, the half-orc, the tiefling, and even Moxie, the half-elf.
Those events tend to be beneath the notice of the stone giant librarians.
Okay.
Any answers you may seek may be found in Graven Hollow. It is one of the world's greatest sources of information and record. You may also encounter some of the stone giant librarians, although, to be honest, they tend to have greater things to focus on. There are a number of assistant librarians, and we are always on the lookout for additional staff.
Huh. You hear that, Malborn?
Malborn looks up from pruning his nails. Huh?
Ah. You can work here if you want. We're always looking for librarians. Be your own boss. Well, not your own boss, but your own person. Normal person.
Oh, yes, that does sound quite appealing. Do you have a massage department? Perhaps I could devote some time to that. There are many categories. Almost all relevant information may be found in Graven Hollow. However, there is no specific department focused on massage. There is one for medicine and physiology and anatomy, both of humanoid races as well as giant king, and even monstrosities such as myself.
Okay. And we can go anywhere we want in here, or are some areas restricted?
No, you're welcome anywhere you wish, as long as you adhere to the rules. No damaging property, return your books back once you found them, and of course, no violence, including thievery. That said, you're certainly welcome to peruse any section. Graven Hollow is very large, much larger than the physical dimensions would imply. If you wish to move from one location to another, your best bet is to find an assistant librarian who may give you a crystal. The crystals allow you, with concentration, to find the section or information you desire. It will make traveling much easier, although it is only a rarity for someone to get lost. It isn't impossible, and it is so large that once lost, one may never be found again.
Okay, nice.
So, first order of business, find an assistant.
Maybe we should discuss first what we should ask for. Kind of pin down.
True.
Please enter the library and speak to any assistant librarian you see.
Well, thank you. Thank you for your time.
You're very welcome.
And he bows his head a little bit lower, again, not making any eye contact.
Can I ask?
And then he goes back to,
Oh, I thought we were finished.
Oh, yeah, I was just wondering, what are you?
Well, I'm a basilisk, of course.
Ah, okay, yeah. It's good that you don't look at us. Thank you. And I'm gonna
No.
not look at it. Just turn my head away.
I would never look at someone unless they violated the principles of Graven Hollow. And before that, I usually give a warning.
Okay, good to know, good to know.
Of course, it helps not to surprise me because, well, I can get a bit jumpy.
Okay, thank you.
You're very welcome.
and he extends his tongue out. It flicks in your general direction, and then it goes back and retracts into his mouth, and he turns his head and leaves, slowly lumbering off. All 8 legs, very well articulated considering how many joints are involved.
What are we looking for?
I don't know. I kind of played follow the leader this direction.
I guess we should look up Sakmoy and maybe Duplex and see if there's. Guess there's.
Way to defeat them.
Yeah.
Do we need info on the mold too?
Yeah.
Don't we also need to talk to that book that one of us
Yes.
got?
That's hiding in the bag of holding.
Oh yeah. Well, maybe if the copy over here, Simulacrum, maybe the book will respond better to him because it's actually a copy of Agamemnon Scorch.
Perhaps. Shall we take it out and hand it to him?
Yeah, we can at least show it to him.
We found this book.
So do you give it to Agamemnon?
We-
The simulacrum? Sim 4?
The sim before, we're gonna show it to him at least.
Say we found this.
Oh, yes. This was my master's treatise on demons and their potential effects on the prime material plane in the event that they were summoned or let loose, also known colloquially as the Armageddon scenario.
Oh,
Some of the research I was supposed to pursue was meant to be a contribution to one of its chapters. It's very good that you found that. I'm sure he would like to have it back. And he extends his hand out.
well, we are trying to stop Saktmoy and the mold, and I think there's a lot of information here that would be really helpful for us.
But it is not your property, and you do not know the password to disable the glyph of warding.
Exactly. Could you help us?
He looks at you. It is not your property. It is the property of my master.
Oh, but we are also trying to find your master. And,
Are you really?
well, he can help with the mold, can't he? And he has been lost for a long, long time.
My master is missing, and he is no longer on the prime material plane. So unless you can get yourself off Toril and past the astral plane, I'm not sure how you can help him immediately.
No, maybe not now, but maybe in the future. Well, if we give you the book, could you tell us if there's anything helpful for us inside it? Could you tell us that information?
Why, yes. I am empowered to open the book and add journal entries to it. I cannot learn anything personally, but recording is not a problem.
So you could tell us what's in it, if it's helpful for us.
Yes, I can open the book and record or also share any information. Although, of course, Graven Hollow has its own resources, significant ones.
But now that we're in the library, and all magic is dispelled, will the rune of warding activate?
The glyph of warding is extremely powerful, as is the arcane lock.
Okay then.
The magic may not activate, but the book itself is also magical. In order to access its information, you would need to be in a place where magic would work. It is, for all intents and purposes, inert, so long as we are ensconced in Graven Hollow's Fair's Res envelope.
Okay.
It will yield no useful information.
Sounds like we're wasting our time.
However, if you have a sending stone, and I am empowered to share one because my master has given me several sets specifically for uses such as this, as and when I have unlocked the actual book itself, which I can do simply by stepping outside the bounds of Graven Hollow, I can share whatever you need on occasion, depending upon your need and whether or not your goals align and intersect with those of my master's. His last known location was in the abyss. He said he was chasing up a lead on Loathe.
Okay.
Shall we step into the library proper? I do need to get going with my research.
Yeah, sure.
And you walk through the doors, and you see what appears to be a very large open area that has countless numbers of books. There are a number of different creatures milling about. Some humanoids, a couple of drow, clearly, others that may be humans or elves, the occasional dwarf or gnome. There's even something that looks a bit like a mind flayer from a distance. There's a small desk near the entrance that has the sign information suspended in magic above it. And there's a person sitting behind the desk. You can't see them very clearly.
Guess we head to the information.
As you approach, the person behind the desk looks up, and you see that it is an extremely well-built, semi-naked man. He has a number of very impressive-looking weapons, and he's wearing glasses.
Hello, I'm Conan. Conan the librarian. How may I be of assistance?
Well, we need some information on Saktmoy and Jublex, first off.
Past, present, or future?
All of them?
Yeah. First time here, I see.
Yep.
Yes, they always ask for all of them. It will take you many days. Are you interested in the history of them, or do you simply wish to find a solution to a problem?
Well, a solution would be nice.
Well, you may wish to start with current events. The history, of course, is always useful, but it depends on whether or not you know what you're looking for. However, if you wish to see the future, the Hall of the Future is always available. It isn't necessarily clearly the outcome that you would expect, and it isn't foretold. It simply shows you some of the potential or most likely outcomes. Have you been told that this library primarily focuses on giant kind and the Underdark?
Yes.
Good. So keep in mind that everything you read, especially about the future, has that bias. It is not necessarily omniscient nor ubiquitous.
Where can we find information on Saktmoy in the present?
Why, that would be in the Hall of the Present, of course.
And is that here, or?
This is the Grand Foyer.
Which way to the Hall of the Present?
Ah, yes. Here.
And he hands you a large crystal. It looks like a scroll tube, except it's for giant. So it's so large that all of you would need two hands to hold it. Even Cud can, although he can carry it with one hand, he has to sling it over his shoulder.
This crystal will help guide you to your location and the answers you seek, to the extent that they exist within Graven Hollow. You may, with concentration, attempt to find your source material. It will require a certain amount of willpower. Those of you who have strong wills will be more successful. Those who do not shall not be successful, and those who are weak-willed or easily distracted shall be lost for all time. or at least until the cleaning crews find you, which probably happens every couple of days. We haven't had a death in at least 100 years, but people do occasionally wander aimlessly because they get lost in the stories. I sense at least one of you could potentially fall prey to that kind of distraction.
As long as there are no buttons.
There are plenty of buttons. As
Oh
you
no.
can see, this is the grand foyer, and these are books. You know what books are, obviously. However, Graven Hollow is meant for giants' kind, and stone giants specifically are the protectors of most of the information. Culturally, they don't use paper or vellum like other races, such as my own. I am, of course, primarily a human from the 10 tribes. You probably are used to other materials similar to mine. However, the stone giants mostly keep records on stone tablets, metal stela, and other more, shall we say, endurable options. You might be able to use them successfully, but I assure you, they will take quite a long time to peruse. Here, take the crystal and simply give it to those of you who have good willpower and concentration. If you can, you will find it, and it won't take you very long. If you don't, you'll wander aimlessly. It's not a danger. We have coffee shops everywhere, and you can always get yourself a donut if you're hungry.
To know. Can we also use this if we need information on other things?
Of course, it is a general resource. It is not specifically tied to demonology or any particular subject.
Okay, good to know.
It may also be used as a focus if you have a very specific question, especially in the whole of the future. That will be limited to one use per day.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. You're also welcome to interact with any of the others that you come across. But again, please observe the no violence rule. If you have a disagreement, especially about a book or a record, please come to one of the assistant librarians. The Stone Giant librarians are also available for questions, but please keep them to something important. They have quite a lot on their hands.
Of course. All right.
Very good. Good luck.
Thank you. So, are we going to try this thing?
Okay. What are you? Please type in to Roll20 the exact phrase you want to use to focus your search, and then give me a wisdom check. You can use history if you want, or it's a wisdom check, but you could use history, or you could not history, perception rather.
Okay. Well, I do have a decent perception, but with my rolls today, I don't know.
If only somebody had guidance.
Oh yeah. If only someone had that. Well, we should first find out what we are going to search for. Any ideas?
Yeah, please pipe up. Daria, you've been quiet for a long time.
Yeah.
You start, Daria. There's no wrong answer. I mean, we might laugh at you, but
Yeah, that's normal.
come on, Daria, give it a go.
Thinking.
Think faster. We're running out of time.
No pressure.
He's so mean. He's so mean.
Toot, toot, toot.
Anyone else besides Henrietta? You'll get your chance, Henrietta. I just want to give everybody a chance
Yeah.
to.
I know I've been talking a lot.
Laura? Laura?
Is it about like what we put into, to get to information about Zakmai?
Mm-hmm.
But what kind of
Hmm.
information?
Mm-hmm.
How do you want to phrase it?
Yeah. Okay, I had one other thing that maybe we could also investigate the currently and the tattoo we got. That would also be good. And for Zagmoi, maybe characteristics and way of Zagmoi.
Yeah, type it into the chat. Okay. So is it Dylan who's going to focus on this, or Byleth, or Zenise, or Moxie? Who's doing the focusing?
I'm good with wisdom, if nobody else wants to do it.
Go for it. Give us a roll.
A check, not a save, right?
Yeah, it's a check. It's a skill check, so you can use... Okay.
Nice.
Yes. You start concentrating. You feel the power of this magic. Despite the limitation on magic within Graven Hollow, you realize immediately that this is magic, and obviously Graven Hollow has its own exceptions. As you start to feel this magic, nothing physically happens other than you start walking almost as if in a trance, heading down this completely circuitous path. Now, you're looking for the current information, right? Not past information. Okay. So it takes you down a pathway into another section as you are walking. And you find yourself in a long, narrow area. As you are walking, you hear this internal chanting. It keeps going on in the background because it helps you concentrate. And you feel as if the sheer sound, the chanting in your minds, which you all individually hear, helps you concentrate and also guides you. When you get to the right place, you stop and look up and you see a magically highlighted, what appears to be set of stone tablets. And as you reach up, you see what appears to be an apparition, very, very hard to see, faint almost, of someone you recognize from just a few days ago. She's standing there. She's only translucent. She's not fully there. And she has two elves standing next to her, a male and a female. And they seem to be hiding something. It's a book. Unlike all these stone tablets and steel and metal stela that you can see in front of you, this is a proper book that looks like what you would expect a book to look like. And that is where we're going to end today.
Dun dun dun.
Cool.
Well, I hope you guys had fun.
Always.
A lot.
I'm dreading the recap next week. Jesus. It was a lot, this episode.
It's gonna
Well, at
be
least
3
you can
hours
go back
long.
and listen to it multiple times.
I have like 7 pages of notes.
7?
Yes.
Yeah, I have about that many too.
Well, there you go. Sometimes it's not just pew pew.
Yeah.
Well, since so many of you took such great notes, I'm sure there will be something that somebody would like to add or interject, even if it's just a character's opinion, such as how they felt when that thing happened. Feel free to do so next week. And until then, I hope you all have a wonderful week, and I shall see you next Sunday.
You too, sir.
You too. Take care.
Thanks. Okay.
Have
Bye.
a good week, ladies.
Bye.
Yeah, have a good
Have a
week.
good
Bye.
week.
Bye.